Hey, my name's Anthony Mosley. Come join me on my real estate ride along. Roger Ackerman, man, you're a good friend of mine. I don't think I've ever worked on a transaction with you personally, but I hear really good things about you.
Thanks.
So you're a real estate agent, realtor, and you haven't always been a realtor. How did you get in the business?
It's kind of a long story. I started.
Wait, hold on, time out. First of all, how long have you been in the business?
I have been in the business 19 years.
Okay.
So it started out kind of a funny story of how we got in real estate, but for the first 13 years I was a newspaper pressman, worked at a good friend of mine's dad's printing company, did that for 13 years. Then decided that I wanted to own my own, and so I bought a small printing company in Clarkston, Michigan, which was fun to start out, but then found out that it was a lot of work and that there was no money to be made. So I was working 12 to 16 to 18 hours a day doing that, and it wasn't fun. I mean, not only did, it was a lot of work, but it was taken away from family. And one day my daughter calls me up as like 10 o'clock at night and calls me and goes, "Dad, when are you coming home?" And so I immediately, stopped what I was doing, went home, and within like 2 weeks I closed the printing company. So the next chapter was my wife Mickey and I had these small little coupon magazines that kind of branched off from the printing company, so figured that would be the next chapter of what we were going to do. And again, found out that there's nothing more than people wanting to see a person coming into their business selling advertising. So we did that for, I'm going to say, a year and a half. And Mickey's brother, who was in real estate, worked for Coldwell Banker on the other side of the state. The whole time we were going through this, he could see us struggling, and he's like, "When you're ready, come talk to me. You need to get in real estate." So, toward the end of when we, were doing these coupon magazines, he just said, "All right, it's time." So we took the classes, passed the classes, and he looked at me and said, "You're doing commercial real estate, and Mickey's going to do residential." So that's how we got started. It was basically no training, have a good time, you'll do well. So that's kind of the story of how we got into that. Was early 1998, and so I've been in it for going on 19 years.
So how scary was that transition? I mean, I know the printing business was kicking your butt, but anything new is scary.
Well, the one thing that I said was with selling real estate, it really kind of, you were doing, cold calling, going into businesses, talking with owners. So, I mean, a lot of it, even though it wasn't a lucrative profession, it really prepared Mickey and myself for getting into real estate. So going into it, it was just kind of an extension of what we were doing before. We were talking to people, trying to get them to buy, something from us. So then it was in turn trying to get people to sell things. So we had kind of a reputation, and people liked us. So it really wasn't that scary. It was like we were looking for something else because, we were struggling, and financially, and and then working, and what financial does to you personally. So it was something that was like, okay, this maybe could be the thing that we need at this time. So in the market at that time, early 2000s, wasn't too bad. So I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was something that you could see that there was a potential there for it to be a career more than just trying to bide your time doing something. So
I originally met you as a commercial agent. I don't know if you know this or not, but you had like a old diaper plant or something like that listed in Middleville, Michigan, and that's where I live.
Yep.
I see your name every day.
Yep. That was a rough building.
Well, so Coldwell Banker, was that the only brokerage you were with before where
Yeah.
you're at now?
Yeah, Mickey. Well, I'm originally from the other side of the state. Grand Blanc is where I grew up and graduated, and that's where I met Mickey. She was over there for just a brief period working for her dad, and we met. And 26 years later, when the market really changed over on that side of the state, which we always tell people that there was one thing that the Flint area was ahead of its time was in the market crashing. So they were like early 2004 is when the market really changed there, where here I think it was 2008, 2009. So I got into from the commercial side, getting into a lot of foreclosures, dealing with banks, and because at that time our market was probably 60 to 70% was either a foreclosure or a short sale. And the average sale price in our MLS in 2005 was $56,000. So it was a market where you could sell things, you couldn't make any money. So our last year, when previous couple years, Mickey was talking that we need to move. We need to, if we want to stay in this business, we've got to relocate. And her being from the Grand Rapids area, it was just a natural fit to move here. So I came kicking and screaming.
Dude, Grand Rapids is perfect for you guys. I mean, when I think about Grand Rapids, I see Roger and Mickey Ackerman.
Yeah.
I just look it up
Well,
dictionary.
and my wife always says that now I'm like the Chamber of Commerce, because everybody that I talked to about it it's like, what did I wait for? And so, but yeah, fantastic move. And when I tell people, about the Grand Rapids area, it's like, it's just different. Try to explain where you live and the people there. It's just different. So it took a little while, because anytime, you have a real estate license, that doesn't mean you have business. And so we moved over here, packed up, sold our house, took a beating on that, and moved over here and started over. And so it was a huge transition, and it took a little while, but was a great, fantastic move.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys came out here, man. Welcome to Grand Rapids.
Yep, thanks.
How many years later?
This is our 6th year.
6 years.
Yep, and it seems like yesterday, but yep, our kids had moved over here. Our daughter went to Grand Valley, and so and our son originally came out here a couple years before that, and the realization was they were never moving back to the east side of the state. There was just nothing there for them. So they kind of paved the way for us to move here, and so glad we did. So glad to be here.
Oh, man. So you're Grand Rapids, Michigan. You're with Keller Williams Realty.
Yep.
You have a team. Who's your team?
Well, it's myself, my wife Mickey, and then we have one admin. Her name is Mary Belial. She started with us in the beginning of the year. Doing fantastic.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's a go-getter. She's one.
Shout out to Mary.
Yep.
Shout out to Mary.
I told her when we were interviewing to hire, is like, fix me, and she was like, her response back was, well, what do you mean? And so it's like, well, I need somebody to keep me accountable. And so she had been in a different industry, and she goes, people always say that, but when you try to do that, they don't respond well. So
Oh, man, no one likes to be told what to do.
right, and I told her, no, that's exactly what I need. I need some, strong-willed person who's going to be able to tell me when I'm not doing something and I need to do it, and just to call me out. So yep, she's very good at that. So
Shout out to Mary.
shout out to Mary.
So let's be honest. Who's really the boss of this team?
Well, come on, Anthony, you know.
Yeah.
You know who it is.
Yeah.
She's the boss. Yep.
Huh. I wonder where she's at right now.
She's the networker. Yep. Who knows? She's probably following us somewhere.
Look who's here, Raj.
Hi, honey.
We can run, but we can't hide.
So who's the real boss of this team you guys got going on?
Somebody raise their hand.
It's not me.
It's not me.
It's me.
Hey, Mickey, how you doing?
Great.
Well, Raj and
We're
I
gonna
were
see
just-
how well you guys are doing after I drive.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at, so you're gonna have to drive. Mickey, Roger, and I were just rolling around through the hood, my old hood, over by Aquinas College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we were talking about your guys' beginning,
Yes.
how Roger had the printing press, and
Oh, that was very glamorous.
glamorous times. Well, let's skip ahead to 2017.
Okay, here we are.
Mickey, what is up with you? What are you doing?
Hanging out with Raj. Selling a little real estate. Doing some coaching. Launching my blog. And finishing up my book. So nothing.
Nothing. A little nothing.
Do some speaking and teaching.
So you talk about coaching. I know you coach quite a few real estate agents. You do real estate coaching.
I do coach a couple other people that are not in real estate as well.
Yeah, I kind of get free coaching from you every once in a while. I always tell Brooke Powers that too. I get like pro bono coaching from you guys.
Yeah.
I got so many things I want to ask you. You know, we do this show because we really want to give people the background of in the lives of the real estate agents and maybe some advice that they could use to better their careers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of the month. I don't know when this will air, but it's the end of the month, and in the real estate industry, that typically means that everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off.
Everybody's chill, relax. In real estate land.
What's your thoughts on stress? How to handle yourself as a real estate agent during those stressful transactions, or when you're getting down to the wire and you don't think it's going the way you want it to go?
Well, I think a lot of our clients, whether it's sellers or buyers, they take the lead from us. So, I mean, if we're going to be panicked and we're going to be, just way out there, we almost went through the windshield. So no stress involved in this, right? Those pedestrians don't realize. But I mean, they really look for our guidance, because a lot of times this is the first time they've ever been in a transaction, whether it's a buyer or seller, and so it may be normal for them. But if we don't allow it to be a stressful situation, they don't know. It could have been the most stressful behind the scenes with lending or with inspections. But if we're even keel through the whole thing and show them that that it's not out of the ordinary, or their situation is unique to the transaction, they sometimes don't even know what went on, and it's the best transaction they've ever had. And in this industry, it all comes back to getting referrals and how they respond to the dealing that they just had with us. They'll tell people if it's stressful, it might be the last transaction we ever do with them. So
yeah, I agree.
That's my take on the whole walking through the transaction with them.
Well, it's a difference in, you call your client and say, hey, we need to talk about this, or just wanted to bring this up to you. We have this AB situation or whatever. Or I have actually heard agents say, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what happened. How is your client going to react to that? We're used to this business. They're not. For some of them, it's the first time they've, they may have purchased their house 5-10 years ago. Market was totally different. Now they're selling. They read all the Facebook things, and it is our job to keep that level, even keel.
And another thing we always forget about is we're always hearing about first-time home buyers. Those first-time home buyers are a lot of times first-time sellers. Mm-hmm. So we assume a lot of things in a transaction that people know these things. And so we have to take that into consideration, because again, we are almost hitting a car. We are the experts in this. So they rely on our expertise through the whole transaction to guide them through this. And so we don't want to be that, oh my God, like she said, you wouldn't have believed that this just happened. So they think they're unique. And so, we've got to use our expertise in the transaction to keep them abreast of what's going on and keep them calm, and that they're not the exception.
Right. Set the expectation.
And,
yep. Roger's so laid back. Mary, shout out to Mary again. But Mary is newer to real estate, and she, she's getting the whole, transaction down and understanding everything. And there's a few times she'd go, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And Roger's just so chill. She's like, it'll be fine. It'll happen. It'll be okay. If you don't alarm everybody, it'll all take care. And it does. But, so many people get so alarmed, and then it's the way they present it to their buyers or their sellers, and then everybody, gets alarmed. There's a way to take care of negotiations. There's a way to take care of that service after the sale that just needs to be really calm and professional.
And Rogers is cooler than a polar bear's toenails.
That's why he can stay married to me.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I just can't
You
count.
guys are polar opposites.
Right?
Mickey, what's some advice that you have for agents getting in the business right now? What are you seeing? Because I know you coach a lot of new agents.
It's the communication and getting all that training. And one of my really big things is everybody's in such a hurry, and dot loop is so fantastic, but a lot of I've seen a lot of people, heard stories of just sending over a dot loop and not going over detail by detail of either the listing contract or the purchase agreement with their buyers or sellers, and assuming that these people know what's in that contract.
That guy was wasted. Did you see that?
Yeah. This is fun. So you're assuming that people know things, that they know what's in the contract. Even if they read the contract, you have to tell them that, this is what this means. This is what's going to happen when this comes up. All of those things, and just whipping over a dot loop can be really dangerous.
More personalized, huh?
Right. And, really talking through those things. And you had said earlier about, setting those expectations for people, is so important. If, having your agent say to you, listen, this is going to come up. You might get a curveball here. This might happen. These are all things that we know, we're used to, we've worked through, and, we'll be able to talk through it. Don't worry about it.
I agree. Hey, Raj, if you could ask one question to Mick Ackerman right now, what would it be?
Oh my good night.
Let's keep it clean.
One question.
You want to make out?
One question.
Oh, that's my question.
Part of it is, see, I'm never sitting in this side of the car when we're driving.
Hey man, go figure. I've never sat back here before.
Because I never let her drive, and I'm seeing why.
He's sweet.
So there's a lot of things
He's
that are
pretty
going through my
petrified.
head right now that when you bring up that of what one thing I could say.
Some days I can conquer like 5 curbs before 9 a.m.
Hey,
Right.
it's okay. This is a late model. You can hit whatever you want with it.
We're on it.
That's a great question. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Well, besides be Shaka Khan,
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
that's what I really want to be when I grow up. I'm doing it. All I ever wanted to be was a wife and a mom. I got that.
Got that down.
Thanks for that.
Shout out to procreation.
Procreation.
And I'm doing what I want to do.
You're back in the town that you grew up in, not on the east side of the state, away from everybody.
Yes, I get to spend time with family, and I get to teach people stuff. I get to mentor. That's what I love, connecting people, helping people out. So I really get to do what I love, and it really is true. When you do what you love,
It's not work, is it?
It's not.
no,
work.
no money will follow.
Hey, I think Mickey's the Oprah Winfrey of the real estate industry. Shout out to Oprah.
Oprah.
Woo-hoo.
Well, Mickey, what's one question you really want to ask Raj?
Yeah. Be nice.
Let's keep it clean. Let's keep
Right.
it
Keep it
real estate
clean.
related.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell were you doing
Yeah,
last night?
what were you thinking? What could I ask Roger Ackerman? Do you think I look cute on a golf course? That's the really...
Well, when you're not yelling at me to not coach you too much. Yes.
Too much coaching.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, Raj, commercial or residential? Which one do you prefer?
They're their own animal because one has no emotion. That's the commercial side. It's just numbers. It's what it is. It's black and white. And then the residential side is so emotional. I mean, you're dealing with people and personalities and things that you never thought would come up. So I preferred commercial, but I really enjoyed doing residential. I mean, it's seeing people that have bought their first house and walk in and are so happy. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, it's great to see those. So
And he always says he would say things like, I don't really like showing houses. And he's such a liar. Because then when he shows houses, he's like, oh, you gotta see this, you gotta see this. And I get bored in a house. I'm like, okay, we're done, we're out.
This is my favorite question to ask on the show is, what is the weirdest, most bizarre, craziest, maybe scariest thing you've ever encountered in the world of real estate?
My first listing? That would have to be the most fun. My first listing, Roger met this guy through a commercial client that he had. I just started selling, little tiny house. Well, the guy was a millionaire.
and a hoarder.
And a hoarder. Old guy.
In an 800 square foot house.
No family, no friends, because he was just mean and ornery
Yep.
and loved money. So the day there was a possession time, day after closing, or right after closing, possession is coming up. We can't get a hold of him. So Roger goes over to the house because the lockbox was still on, knocking, kind of expecting to find a body.
Yeah.
Goes in, nobody's there, car was in the driveway. So I said, you know what? If an ambulance picked up the guy, they would lock up afterwards. So I called around to the hospitals, found him at Hurley in intensive care.
Oh, wow.
Hurley Hospital. So he had a heart attack. And so when we went to the hospital, this was the best. We went to the hospital and he said, we're
got
here.
people
Yeah,
dying to want to work with us.
We're here to see him, this guy. And they said, well, he's in critical condition. He's in ICU. Only immediate family. And we said, well, we're his realtors.
Right. I'm a
So
chauffeur driver.
So they let us in because they said there had been nobody else inquiring about him in weeks.
Oh, that's sad.
Really sad. We were the only people that had come to see him.
That's, well,
So sad. So my buyer had to get in the house. So we ended up packing him, moving him, everything. I mean, the story could go on and on, but that was our very first one. And
Welcome to real estate.
Welcome to real estate. And I mean, there's lots more, but that was, yeah. No, we only can let immediate family in. It's okay, we're his realtors.
We're his realtors.
I mean,
That's
sometimes
sad.
it is
We had
family.
no
Sometimes
one
it is
else.
Dumb
family.
and Dumber.
Yeah,
it's
we
okay, we're his realtors.
yeah, we took care of everything for him. Had to pack up his
This is a
house.
patented title, by the way. Realtors.
We
Right.
don't pack and move everyone. Disclaimer.
Yeah. I have numerous stories. Kind of going against my thing of where people aren't emotional in commercial real estate. At a hotel that was listed in the Flint area across from the airport, and my brother-in-law had a client that
Oh, I don't
came
think you can tell the story.
came to see it, and my client, I represented the seller, and their ethnic backgrounds were not the same,
They didn't gel so much.
and they literally were about ready to throw punches in the parking lot of this, and they were going after each other just for a showing.
Screaming in
Yep.
different
So
languages.
awesome. You should have put that on World Star.
What
Oh
was
my
the
God.
one thing that he kept saying?
He said, "You are the devil.
You are the devil.
I can
and-
feel you in my veins."
Yeah, I can feel you in my veins.
So right then I knew it was going south. I didn't think the guy was going to buy it, so he didn't. And I turned to look, and her brother is gone. I mean, he packed up and left.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I'm standing in the parking lot with these two guys, and they're ready to go hooking. So
Time is money, Raj.
I'm like, this isn't going well. So
Something's
needless
terribly wrong.
to say, that client did not buy that hotel.
You are the devil.
Right? No.
You are the devil. Well, we're going to conclude today's episode. However, I do want you guys to tell people how to get a hold of you, and they can holler at you whenever they want. If that's cool with you.
Yes, please.
No problem. We are at Keller Williams, Grand Rapids North, on off the Beltline, new building there. You can reach me. My phone number at 616-901-2696.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Oh, everybody can always find me.
Wow.
You need a real estate coach. You just need someone to talk to.
Right.
Call her.
Call me.
If you need just the coolest guy in the world that will never get mad at you,
This guy.
call him.
Right. Or if you need a fourth.
Oh, yeah.
Call him.
Call him.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks,
We love
Anthony.
you.
Love you guys. This
Yep.
is weird. I can't believe I'm sitting back here.
I like it.
Mickey, you're the boss.
I like
You
this.
survived the ride with Mickey.
Mickey's Ride Along!
Yeah.
Woo woo.
You never know what you're going to see on Real Estate Ride Along. Please subscribe below for future episodes.
Okay, we're gonna edit this part.
Your legs fall asleep?
Yeah, I was like bouncing around back there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.